Dude, Let It Go. Like if you want some nice like beat headphones for like super cheap, go to Let It Go. Like seriously.
That's a place?
Yeah. Let It Go. Like it's an
Let
app.
It
It's
Go.
an app.
Let It Go. It's an app?
It's like an app like Wish or whatever, but it's people. It's basically like Facebook.
Ryan's getting on his phone right now to
Let
look
It Go.
at letitgo.com.
Let It Go is like Facebook Marketplace, but like
Let It Go.
yeah.
Okay.
And I find all sorts of shit on there. And for a while, I was wanting some really nice headphones, and like, yeah. And you can find those are wired, but I found where you can find the Beat wireless.
We got the
over
Beat.
the ear, whatever. What do they call those?
Okay.
Jermaine.
That's pretty nice.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Are we starting?
the imaginary cookies are going to attempt to do a podcast.
Ba, ba, da, da, da.
Listener discretion is advised.
Better believe it.
May God have mercy on us all.
Seriously. Oh, man.
That's what she said.
And we're back. So. Oh, it didn't work. It didn't work. Oh, crap. Well, I broke it. Well, here we are.
Crikey.
So episode 2. On a show that Ryan has dubbed.
I got 99 stories, and this is one.
That's right.
I like it.
That's right. What do you think? 99 stories and this is one.
Yeah.
I like it. So, Ryan Baker,
I finally
Joseph
contributed.
Middleton,
Hello.
John Risher, Scott Paris. We are known as Imaginary Cookies, and we are hosting a podcast. Oh, Jesus.
A basket?
A podcast.
We're hosting
We
a
says
basket.
hosting
We're
a
hosting the
podcast.
Bass Pro Shop.
Well, this is the second episode we're doing in one night, and we've had some beverages
Drinks.
and some muscle men. Goodness, there's wow. What am
They
I
don't
looking
stop.
at? What am I looking at?
You just
150
said-
muscle men.
I,
on the,
I haven't even counted. There's a ton.
You just said
Hunky
we had
boys.
some drinks in Muscleman.
I love it. Hey, I don't care. I'm here for it. Here we are.
Yeah,
We
you
got a
are.
half-drank bottle of Riesling.
what to do.
You give me a beer, I'll tell you one.
Action Frank.
How am I going to pay these bills?
Action Frank says the pills make the phone call stop.
Jeez.
So anyway, where did we leave off? We left off. Where did we leave off on episode
Oh,
1?
Waverly, Ohio.
Jeez, Waverly, Ohio. You mean to tell me you know Green Day, but you don't know Metallica? That's what they used to say to us.
Did you cut yourself
Isn't
off?
there a show called Wizards of Waverly Place?
Yes, there was.
Yeah, yeah.
Selena
No, that was
Gomez.
Selena Gomez. It was
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah.
That was a great show.
That was a great show. You know what's funny is when my kids were little, they used to watch Disney Channel for like Mickey Mouse and all that stuff during the day. And we'd leave it on for them, but by the afternoon it was like Wizards of Waverly Place and Hannah Montana. And hell, if we weren't watching that stuff, because it was still on, and you get caught in. Like you,
Yeah, it was damn
you ever
good.
just realize
Yeah.
you're watching a show and you're like, what the fuck am I watching? But you've been watching for 2 hours. So you're
My
like,
daughter used to love iCarly, and I
Yeah,
have
right?
to admit, like I like
It's
that
a pretty
show.
great
It was a
show.
good show.
iCarly is a good show.
So like
Yeah.
you start watching accidentally, you're like, I kind of want to see where this goes.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
kind of invested. With us, we were. I don't know if I should admit this. We were so into Hannah Montana because it was accidentally on every afternoon after Mickey Mouse that like when the movie came out, we went to the movie theater and we saw the movie because I had to know. I had to know if she got the best of both worlds.
That was Miley Cyrus, right?
Yes, it was.
you should probably like
And Emily Osment, who's really great too. She's been in some other cool stuff. Cheers. Cheers to you all.
Cheers.
So we're just recanting some stories.
wait. We all have girls except Ryan, huh?
I got 2 boys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Good
Yeah.
for you.
Yeah, yeah.
Good for you.
My
I got
my
good
daughter's
seed.
going to be
There you go.
17, dude.
Isn't that crazy?
That's nuts.
That is nice. Almost an adult.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's crazy.
What's that like? You all right?
Yeah.
You good?
it's-
How you holding up? Nobody talks to the dad. How you
No,
holding
no,
up?
man.
Yeah.
He's waiting for
Doing-
his
I'm
ARP
doing-
card.
Yeah.
Dude. Are
Yeah.
you kidding me?
My
Discount
man.
coffee
She
at
became that
McDonald's? Sign
is
me
it-
up.
Is
I'm
it
in.
Winger? She's
My
only
golden Buckeye card.
17,
Yeah.
17.
Oh, that's a different context.
No,
though.
she's a good kid.
Easy.
Yikes.
She's a good kid. She's a smart kid.
There you go.
But yeah, it's crazy because it's like I remember when she was like really little, and you know she's all grown up now. She's like a real person. You know,
That is a weird thing. No,
You know? You know what I mean?
Get,
Not
I get
like,
the way
you
you're
know.
saying it, but like that's a real thing because at first they're your kids, but you have to protect them, teach them, watch them grow up, and then they grow up, and then they have personalities. And you're
She-
like, Now I need to get to know you.
Well, now
like,
she's
who are
making-
you? Like now
Yeah.
I need to know,
She's
I need to know
smart
who
enough
you've
to not
become.
fall for just the tip trick.
Yikes! Ouch!
Ooh.
Why? Really?
Why?
Well-
Why?
Really?
Well,
Is that where we started?
Sorry.
At
That's a
5
slippery.
minutes into episode 2.
That's a
Wow.
slippery
Chris Hansen will
slope.
be here soon.
Sorry.
I mean, that's no bueno.
Right.
And we're back.
Yeah.
You gotta have that talk.
I don't want to
What
think about
talk?
that though.
What talk?
You gotta have the talk.
She's at the point though where I'm letting
is
I'm letting
smart,
her
though. He's
like
good smart,
she's
though.
making life decisions like on her own.
Yeah, good
You
for
know,
her.
so like I'm letting her kind of make those decisions.
Figure it out.
and
How do you do
kinda-
that? I'm still trying to figure out how to do that.
It's hard.
Like for
It's
yourself,
hard.
Right.
Like
Yeah,
Jesus
37
Christ! I
years
wish
later.
somebody would tell me what I did wrong. I'm 41, but I still fuck this up every day.
Right.
Yeah, no, I get that too.
It's so different because when I was her age, I wasn't where she's at. Like she's planning out her future, and I was just like, yeah, when am I gonna play guitar next?
Well,
when am
I think
do
you know,
this next? Like,
Technology has advanced so much since we were 17. Like they can see the whole world before they're 18. You know what I
oh
mean?
yeah,
It's a good call.
Yeah.
I mean, really, you know, it's like if I would have had the internet when I was at that age, I'd be watching porn. But I mean, I'd also.
I was.
I mean, I probably was too. But I mean,
At such a slow bit rate, it would like pause all the time. You're like, no.
like, man, this topless Pam Anderson is not coming in at
Pam
all.
Anderson, good
Yeah.
call.
Oh man,
You're
when they were
dating
still
yourself.
when they were still pictures.
Come on,
wasn't it?
Barbara.
Right. Like, man, this wet Hooters shirt that she has on is not doing anything for me. It took forever.
Wow, is this Sadie's on a Sunday night?
I don't know.
So
how
if
we
you-
starting this?
Yeah, no, that was it. That's how we started this. So if you
Sweet.
haven't
Yeah.
caught on yet, this is our show, and we're going to talk about life and music and fuckery. Really, I guess. We're just gonna-
Tomfoolery.
Yeah, we're just going to get around to it. Who cares? Eventually, in this series, we'll take some calls. We'll have some guests on, hear their horror stories. Really, that's the funny part, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the good stories are fun, but really, we just want to share in one another's misery.
I
with
think
life in general, but especially when you're an artist and a musician and all the things we tried to do. And
I think we should focus on our adventures at Brighton Block Winery because people
yeah.
listening that's probably where they're gonna know us from is playing 30,000 years down there
30,000 years
at
at
Dandelion
Brighton Bach
Festival.
Winery,
Yeah,
including the Dandelion Festival. How many years has it been at the Dandelion? Can anybody actually figure it out? Because every year we guess at the number.
I feel like we're 12, 13.
That sounds pretty close.
14, 15.
That sounds pretty close.
Well, I know the first year that I played with you guys was like 2011 at Dandelion.
Sounds right.
2011 was
And that was
my
like-
first year.
And that was like 30 years ago.
Yeah, feels
that,
like
that
it.
was 12 years ago. So
You know what's
how
funny?
many years did you guys play before that?
Probably 2 or 3, I want to
God,
say.
a couple. Because remember the flatbed trailer we used to do?
Yeah.
We were on a flatbed out by the
I
bathrooms.
wasn't there for that one.
No, we did the flatbed for a couple years.
And then the
Oh,
pavilion.
the ticks, yeah. There was lots of ticks. Oh, yeah. And then we moved down to the amphitheater. We did a couple of the amphitheater years.
The amphitheater. man.
Where we almost
rain,
got
the
the cops
rain.
called on us.
Yeah, the cops one,
That's
one year, rain the
were
next
you were you
year.
there for the year we almost got the
Yes.
cops called on us? Okay,
Yep.
so John was in by
that's
then.
me and his fault. Sorry about that.
Well,
Who are these boys playing ball tag in a parking lot?
now the preface is
All right.
the preface is
We're going in.
preface is we love you, everyone who works at Brighton Bach. We
Love.
love you.
Love
we
you guys.
love you
Yes.
to death. And if there was any wrongdoing, of course it was ours and not yours. But there was a year that we stayed a little too long and wore out our welcome.
We needed adults.
And I remember Ryan
accurate.
specifically taking Joe's carpet from his drum set. It was rolled up, and he was banging people in the nutsack with a rolled up carpet.
I did.
He
Yeah,
did
that
that.
was
That
all
was a
you.
thing that he did. And
I had way too much sangria. I don't
Jesus
remember
Christ,
that at all.
the sangria flowed like wine. And
Wait,
he-
hold on.
Wait, no, it
Hold
flowed like
on.
the
Capistrano.
salmon of Capistrano. And I just remember Duke coming in going, if you guys don't leave soon, I'm going to call the cops.
And then who was it? Jennifer? Dad.
Yeah, she got so embarrassed. She was like, these are my friends. Don't call the cops. And he was like, well, they've stayed too long. I'm going to call the cops. And we were like, oh fuck, we gotta go. And that was so early on that ever since then we're great friends.
Yes.
And we have the utmost respect.
Love.
But there was a time we almost got the cops called on us.
Hell, like these
We
last
stayed
few
too
years,
long.
we're the only ones on the property anymore. Like
At the end,
around.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're always
there.
asking us to stay and like hang out around the fire and stuff. And
Yeah. Well, by the end of a dandelion, they're like, "Hey, flip the lights off when you're done." Like,
there has been a couple times we're like,
Yeah.
hey, that's the switch. See you guys later.
Yeah. No, we love them guys, and they've trusted us with quite a bit. And you remember we filmed a music video there once.
We sure did.
And they let us come in on a Sunday, and they told us how to get into the barn and bypass security just to film a music video there.
Yeah, that was cool.
It was
You
cool.
got the
In
secrets, huh?
It was in the middle of summer on a very hot day in a room with no air conditioning, and we filmed a music video for my song "I Have No Sentiment." And they left us a case of wine, which we drank at my dad's pool.
Oh,
After,
yeah.
remember that?
I forgot.
We did the
Pirate
after
signals.
party at the pool.
We
Yeah.
did.
Oh yeah, I have a picture of that somewhere.
I need to see that.
I have a picture of us drunk on Breitenbach wine at my dad's pool after the video shoot for that. So yeah, if you were to go on YouTube and look up Scott
Yeah.
Paris's "I Have No Sentiment," you would see a very young Scott and Ryan and Sean and Jason Feathers and Paul Clark.
You would see me without facial hair.
I have,
One of the only times ever with
Yeah.
Ryan,
I remember
but no
that.
beard. No beard on Ryan.
Because you guys were walking in front of the.
Yeah.
Oh, we were like doing dance moves. We were like, yeah. Big shout out to Henry J for that one.
Yeah.
Good times, good times. But yeah, we will be doing the 77th appearance of the Cookies at the Dandelion Festival.
77th.
I can't remember. We got to figure out how many years.
You know, I thought that song was called "I Have No Cinnamon."
No cinnamon?
Yeah.
I'm allergic to cinnamon.
I have no cinnamon.
She has, but she calls it something else.
You guys can't see this right now, but Joe's playing with little.
We'll have to post a
muscle
picture
men.
of this.
Yeah,
We'll have to
muscle
put this
men.
on the,
He's got
the
a whole
interweb.
brigade.
That is a
And-
brigade. That's a good word. That's
dude,
a brigade.
and they're going towards Ryan.
Yeah, let's keep the Ryan. at
dude,
bay.
and they are all faced Ryan.
Dude,
If I,
my-
Ryan,
my
if I were you, I'd be kind of scared.
Dude, my
That's
farts are going to kill every one of them.
Ryan's awfully gassy at this session.
It almost looks like Gulliver's
whole life.
Travels.
Gulliver's Travels. They're going to strap him down. He's going to wake up like, oh no, I can't move. Or like that scene from Army of Darkness where he's like, what?
Oh, yeah.
They jump in his mouth. How about a little hot chocolate? So yeah,
good.
Joe is actively playing with
Himself.
miniatures. Joe, how many of those are in your box?
thousands.
Thousands of muscle men.
Dude, I don't know.
Hunky boys.
This one kind of looks like a slee stack.
I love Slee Stacks. Do you remember Slee Stacks?
Yeah, I
you remember
do.
Land of the Lost?
Yeah.
Oh, you messed up.
Oh, fuck. He
that
knocked
could've
him
been so
over.
much worse.
Oh, no.
God, I hope I get
He knocked
it.
a few over and
I
he
hope I get
dominated.
it.
Domino.
So many boys, so many girls.
So we are the Imaginary Cookies, and we play rock and roll music, and we are trying to host a podcast. And we were talking about good stories and bad stories from the road, and being a musician and an artist, and all the things that come with that. And the Dandelion Festival is coming up, which we love to do every year. Let's see. Do you guys have any favorite Dandelion memories? Any favorite? Any like particularly great?
I want to say probably the first year we were up on top of the hill, there were so many people there. Like I think that was the first year we were like, oh, they're not going anywhere. They're staying until
On
we're
the
done.
flatbed? Like up top?
Oh
by
no, I mean like after the amphitheater,
Yeah.
and we went up to the pavilion.
Oh, the pavilion
Yeah.
when they first built the
Yeah.
pavilion. So if you've been there, we're from Ohio, and this is T County. What is that area? It's not quite Sugar Creek, and it's not quite New Philly.
It's considered
not-
Dover, I
Or
thought.
not quite Dover. I mean, it's out there on 93.
It's on 30. Is it 39 or 93?
It's on.
It's
Old
on
39.
one of those roads. Whatever. I'm listic sick. I got it backwards.
It's on Old 39.
It's like between Dover, Sugar Creek.
Yeah,
It's like right on the.
It's like Dover Creek.
Strasburg,
Yeah.
Dover, Sugar
Yeah.
Creek.
It's like Sugover.
I love it.
Sugover.
Shigover.
Sugover.
Over.
You know where it is.
Yep.
You already know what it is. But
But yeah, I mean, I feel like that first show we had up there, it was just so packed. It was probably the packest show we've ever had, and like,
yeah, pretty
Packers.
massive.
and like that kind of set the bar in my opinion. It's like, man, we're killing it. Everyone's loving us. And, like, no one's left. Like, for 4 hours, no one left.
And that's a good feeling.
Yeah.
Oh, wait,
It's a good feeling when you know you have a crowd kind of, I don't want to say under your thumb, but like they're with you. Like it's not like you have them, but like they're on your side. That feels good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that was the first year we started doing
You're winning?
the shot with the crowd behind us.
Yeah.
That we do every year now.
Yeah.
I think that was
That's
the
become
first
a
year.
pretty normal thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like by
love
the
it.
end. Yeah.
One of my favorites was when Ryan, you had that kid come up and play bass.
Oh, one of
One of
your
my
students.
students,
One of your
yeah.
students.
Because like
yeah.
the smile on his face, like that was just awesome. I
Well,
thought
and
that
that's
was
going to
really
mean
cool.
a lot to him in the future.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's my buddy Mason.
Yeah,
I don't teach
that was
anymore.
pretty
I
awesome.
don't see him much, but he's a good kid.
When I was a kid, I went to a private school, and there were stepbrothers who loosely played music because their dad was in a Beatles cover band. And the one brother played drums, and the other played keyboard. And we had a trio, and the dad would teach us. Like, I was trying to write songs. This was like very early on, and I was writing my first couple of simple 4-chord, like I wanted to be Nirvana songs. And to fill in time, the dad was showing us like, do you love me?
Sure.
Do you love me? And like, let's twist together
Yeah.
like we did last summer. Like, he was showing us oldies. And they used to play downtown right around the area now that they would do like the tree lighting for Christmas.
Oh,
like
okay.
right down there. There used to be not a pavilion, but kind of like a stage area
Sure.
for public events. You know, those were back in the days when like the food fests and the ribs burn off and all that would be
Was
downtown.
downtown.
Yeah. So they had an area they would have the bands play, and these guys' dad, his oldies band would play there, and when they would take a break, they would let us come up and do the 15 minutes for their break. And now as an adult who plays in a band, I realized what they were doing. They were buying time, and they were throwing us a bone, and it was cute.
Sure.
Here comes these 14-year-olds playing a couple songs while they got a beer and had a cigarette.
Right.
Like, now I know what they were doing, but as a kid, I was like, this is my shot.
Yeah.
This is my shot. I'm going to show everybody what I got.
Mm-hmm.
And we go up and play 3 or 4 songs, and I don't have them anymore, but I had VHS tapes back in the day of like our performance, you know.
Yeah.
But that was a big deal. It was a big deal, even for cover songs, even for songs we barely knew ourselves. You know, we were doing like Ticket to Ride by the Beatles and shit.
Nice.
Like, I had just heard these songs for the first time, and the guy had showed me how to play the chords. But to be 14, play on nice equipment with a PA in front of people, changed my life.
Yeah.
It was like,
this is what I want.
it was like, I want
Yeah.
this. I want to write songs like this that they like, that they appreciate what I do, but it's just cool to play at all and have them go, oh, wow, you're so great. Oh, that's so nice. It felt really, really good. So I'm sure your student getting to play with us. Like, for us, it was fun. Like, oh, come on up, buddy. It's cool.
Yeah.
Isn't this neat? Like,
Yeah.
we, as an adult, I know what that part's like. But as a kid, I remember what that part was like.
Sure.
Because it changed me. So if that kid
Oh,
grows
yeah.
up to start a band, I absolutely imagine he's going to go, oh, dude, when I was like 12, my teacher
he's
let me
always
come
gonna
up and do a
remember
song
that.
at his big show. Like,
Sure.
he's going to have a different perspective of
hope
that
so.
day than we did. And that's really cool. I hope that that's the way.
Yeah.
I'm sure
That's
you
how it
will.
was for me.
Speaking of videos, I found Isolation Theory VHSs.
You have actual VHS?
Uh-huh.
No shit.
Yeah. I played it the other day. It's as good as it's as good as it should be.
Good as it should be.
As good as it should be.
Where-
Blind
where-
Eyes on the Rooftop was my favorite
Oh, dude,
ISO
thanks.
Theory
Yeah.
song.
Man.
I love that song.
And that just hit Spotify, by the way.
Mine too.
Yeah.
I've always liked that one too.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Do
I
you remember
remember-
the $2,000 version of that song that we never put out?
That we hated.
We hated
That
it.
we recorded up at. Can we say it?
I think we can say it because I don't think it exists.
Up at the Lava Room.
Lava Room
That
in
was-
Cleveland, which was a fucking disaster.
Because it was
Can I
like
say that? It's a fucking disaster.
You can say that. It's a lot.
it was behind a club. Like, was it the Hi-Fi Club?
It wasn't. It was in
No.
it was in the same building that Alternative Press is in the ghetto part of Cleveland.
AP.
Like, remember?
Yep.
But it was ran by Billy Morris.
Billy Morris.
Yeah. Billy Morris.
And no problem with Billy. Hey, Billy
Yeah.
Morris. You know,
Yeah, I love you.
Billy
Yeah.
Morris actually saved my life because so this building was in a very bad part of Cleveland. It was a very, very like rundown part. And we went to this studio, and during one of our sessions, Billy Morris walks in, and if you don't know Billy Morris, he was in the band Warrant, and he walks in and goes, "Hey, whose big van is out there?" And I'm like, "Me?" He goes, "Your lights are on." And I was like, "Oh shit!" And I ran out to turn my lights off. Had my battery died in the heart of Cleveland, we would have died.
Right.
We were in a part where that was bad.
Yeah.
Like, it was bad. So, big ups to Billy Morris for helping me
Thanks,
save my
buddy.
car battery. But we went to Lava Room because our buddy Chris Donnelly and Sindust had just recorded there.
And their stuff sounded great.
And well, I thought that they had a nice experience there. Come to find out, they didn't like it going there either, and they'd redone their whole session with someone else. But I didn't know that part of it yet. And we spent like $2,000 on one song. And that was like my last time, honestly, really paying money in a studio was that experience.
Sure.
Because we thought, let's not make an album. Let's make one great song that's like radio worthy. Let's push a single. And you're talking 2003,
Yeah.
4.
Yeah.
We're like, let's spend all of our money on one song, our best song. Let's make it.
Let's blow our load, right?
But let's.
Yeah.
But I thought,
Dude, that was a great
I was
song.
I was
though.
a
It had
young.
great
We were
groove.
young dudes, and I thought, let's make one really polished radio kind of song, and see what happens. Try to sell it, push it to A&R people. Like, what do you do? I don't know. The music industry still existed back then, kind of,
Yeah.
sort of. CDs were still selling. This was a different time, and we spent all this money, and the guy, something Brown, Mike Brown.
That might be it, actually.
Yeah, sorry, Mike Brown, if I'm shouting you out, but this guy was a jerk. He didn't understand our vision. It was a big waste of time.
Yeah.
And when we mixed that song, we went out to my van and listened to the CD.
Hated it immediately.
And we're like, this sounds like fucking crap.
It was really
We'd
bad.
spent so much money on one song. And we don't have a lot of money, right? Like,
Yeah.
I worked at
Still
Camelot
don't.
Music. I was making like $10 an hour,
Yeah.
maybe. And for me, that was great. But God damn, it was bad. And we never released it. That version of that song has never seen the light of day. I don't even think I own a copy. And I kept everything.
Yeah.
Like I tried to keep every demo and everything. And
Part-
we
part of me wants to
fucking
hear it,
threw
but
that
part of me's like,
away
nope.
because we didn't want anyone to hear it. It was that embarrassing.
Damn.
It was so bad.
It was really bad.
So Ben Cybalski was my roommate at the time. We ended up re-recording not only that song but 8 others, 9 in total.
Became an album. Yeah.
We did the drums at Kent Music Center
Yep.
for cheap because he ran the studio, and then we finished it in the house. Like we did all the parts in bedrooms at my house.
Yeah.
The blue room downstairs, and then my bedroom upstairs is where I
Upstairs,
did the
yep.
guitars and the vocals. And that is the version that just hit Spotify recently, kind of resurfaced. But we were more happy with that home recording because it was us. It felt right. And what you lose in sonic quality because it being a bedroom, it had the feeling
Yeah.
versus that sterile. Like they were a real studio. They had a beautiful live room. The drums were huge as John Bonham, but the feeling of the song was so fucking vanilla. It was terrible because of the direction of the engineer. And yeah, we
Or
never-
their lack of.
just it was bad, man.
Scotty don't know.
It was fucking
Well, we
terrible.
know now.
So, I mean, I guess that's a topic of conversation. Like, studio recording when it was $50+ an hour and you were looking at the clock, cutting corners, versus now when you can do it at home or in a bedroom or in a decent studio that's low budget. You know, Joe, you're in a band called Abandoned Vehicles. You guys just recorded recently.
They're pretty rad.
Frequencies. Oh, actually, today we finally have it
On Spotify.
Yeah, Spotify on Apple Music, Spotify, like it's
Yeah.
on everything now. Like,
And the album is called
Frequencies.
Frequencies. Really, really cool. Highly recommend. And that was done at the Wrecking Room.
Yep.
What was that like?
Actually, it's been like one of the most like.
Because I know you played us. So last year, when we got ready for Dandelion last year, this group, Imaginary Cookies, the ones you're hearing right now, talk live. We really only do 1 or 2 shows a year, but we hang out, we talk, and we definitely watch what the other ones are doing with our other bands and other projects, and we all stay busy. You played us some demos last year.
Yep.
when you guys started this record, and you were super, super happy with like the backup vocals and like everything was really falling into sync, and everything you played for us was super cool. And now that the record's done,
Yay! Finally.
I know, right?
It was a long process.
I'm happy for you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, like everything was like going good, and then like the pandemic hit, and then there was like this huge like oh Christ, what are we gonna do? And then because we got, I think, kind of most of the stuff done just before the pandemic hit, and then the pandemic hit, and it was like
The skeleton of it, like you got the drum tracks in, like the rhythm stuff. So like as far as overdubs and the polish, you couldn't get back and do it.
No, and then the guy.
We'll have to watch. We'll work around some of the specifics.
Then Jerry G, the guy recording us, engineer, ended up getting arrested and going to jail for a good amount. What was that? 8, 9 months?
It was a while. It was a while.
It was a long.
Wow.
Yeah.
Which puts a pause on stuff. Well,
Yeah.
I mean,
stuff-
it's neither here
stuff.
nor there.
Yeah, stuff happens.
The stuff and things.
Yeah, stuff and things. Regardless.
Relationships. It's weird, but
I mean,
yeah. So then like it was sitting in the studio, and some other people were like, "Well, hey, you could send it to me, or
like somebody wanted to help you finish it? Yeah.
or I could come in and do this stuff." And we're like, you know what, like Jeremy James, like how we're just talking about, like how like that guy, your engineer did not see the vision. Jeremy James saw the
He
vision.
saw your vision.
He saw the vision,
And you
everything.
trusted him.
Yep. And
so you said, you know what?
And everything he
let's
was doing
put the
so
record on
far,
hold. I want this guy to see it through.
Yep.
Whatever that takes, let's work with him and see it through. And that's the right move.
Because we took one song and like let one, we're like, well, here, let's just take it and give it to him, see what happens. Where, well, in the long run, the person who
And keeping in mind that this guy is also a great musician.
Yeah.
He's got a really cool punk rock band,
Yeah.
and like,
so like
he knows his shit.
Right.
Like Jeremy knows his shit. He's cool dude.
But the guy that sent it from the studio that we were using that ended up sending like most of the tracks that we weren't ever going to use to begin with, or something like so like he got a bunch of like garbage basically, and was like
so like takes that weren't great, they were still in the session file. Okay.
Yeah. So that was a complete mess, and we're like, and then so that finally sealed the deal on like, hey, we're not we're not gonna do any of that. We're just gonna wait till this dude gets out of jail. This is happened. This is what it is, and this is how it's gonna be. And
that's a good point too. So maybe people don't understand when you record now digitally in like a Pro Tools or anything that's like Pro Tools. There's so much space on a hard drive. You can record 1 million parts. Like you can record overdubs, which is to record like over something 100,000 times. So you could do 50 guitar takes. You could do all these extra vocals. Doesn't mean you're going to keep it later, but you can just try stuff. You're experimenting, you're being creative, and you're having fun. I mean, that's really the point, is like you wrote a song, but you're really just fucking around afterwards. You're going, hey, let's see if there's a harmony on that. Or, hey, let's triple the guitar track. Hey, you got a solo? All right, try a solo. Now try another one. Try a different one. All right, let's try 3. So in the end of the day, you might have like 80 tracks on a song, and it doesn't mean you're keeping them.
Nope.
But you can hear them.
Yeah.
You can click on them on a fader on a mixing board, and you can listen to all these different things. So if a new guy comes into the picture and he wasn't there at the beginning, he's looking at a mess.
Oh, yeah.
He's looking at a mess. He's clicking faders going, what the fuck is this thing? And it's like a kazoo coming in and out. You're like, oh, you weren't there, but on the day we thought this was a good idea, and now we don't. So that's muted.
And just how every musician has a different process of doing stuff, or learning a song, or playing like you guys, we all play this, we all play the same song, especially since John and Scott, you guys are the guitar players. Like you guys like are playing like the same, I don't know, chords or whatever.
Yeah,
but
like you got a
it's
riff or something.
But for some reason, it'll sound, I don't know, like different between you guys playing. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Well, there's different phrasings and the way you hold an instrument and the timing and
all that
doesn't always go in sync.
Yeah, right. But like, where was I going with this? Jeremy James has a certain like process of how he goes through things, and one of them is that he'll at the very beginning he runs everything like really hot. So like, so if you're looking at like, I don't know, from ground up or whatever, or like, I don't know what you want to call it, like he's
like decibel levels.
Yeah,
or,
like everything is there, there's not a whole. So like anyone new coming in going like, because at the point where it was like, oh, we got everything recorded, they just need kind of like mixed and then mastered or whatever. So anyone new coming in and would like, whoa, these tracks are
like spiking.
So yeah, almost
they're,
like there's
they're
like,
hot.
There's really like we got like a lot of like a couple people that tried it were like, these are like, it was so high that there's not like enough room to like to do it to like, I don't know, a lot of people like looked like defeated like right away, and it was like Jerry James, that like that's just how he does things, and then he eventually brings everything down and then but like in the very beginning everything's just hot.
Well, sometimes you have to crank stuff just to hear it to do your do your tracks.
Like at the very beginning, I remember like hearing, he's like, "How do you guys think?" And I was like, "I can hear my kick drum like you can hear it like clipping like."
Yeah, it's so hot.
Yeah, it's like it's like I can hear it clipping in the mix. Like
a clip is like when it distorts, like when you're running something so loud that it's actually kind of offensively distorted, not in a cool way, like in a oh shit, that's too loud.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But he went in there and he knows what he's looking at and he fixes it and stuff.
But anyone new coming in would be like,
well, and different producers deal with that differently too. Like Nigel Godrich, who does like all the Radiohead albums, notoriously doesn't use effects while he's recording, so you do everything dry with no reverb, no whatever. And some bands are okay with that, and some are like, ew, I need to hear reverb. I need to hear my vocals with the chorus on it, because whatever. He doesn't do anything until he's mixing.
Okay.
And, that's his method.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I was thinking, I was in a band called, what's that? Oh,
Mortal Kombat.
Oh, he's got like 8 arms.
Goro.
Finish him.
Yes.
I got you.
123.
123 musclemen. You counted them.
123 doll hairs.
Doll hairs.
But I was thinking,
That's a lot
I was in a
of
band
dollars.
called Seance with Chris Bentley.
Yeah.
And we were a band for like 3 years. Mm-hmm. But which first of all, the band went through many incarnations.
I found your cassette tape the other day.
You better keep that.
I recorded your first demo.
Well, that's what I'm going to get to.
Okay.
Is like when in one of our first incarnations, like we came to you to have you record us. Mm-hmm. We had you do the instrumentation, then we did the drums somewhere else.
Yep.
And we loved it, and but the band started to change. And we're like, all right, well, it's cool, but it's not where we are now.
Sure.
And the second time I went to go record with Jeff Clem. Jeff Clem recorded us.
Nice.
And we didn't have like a drummer, so at the time it was like a kick drum turned up, and our singer Leslie hit it with a mallet.
I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember when she did that.
And that was cool too. Like we really liked that. It's like, man, this is really good. But then we changed again.
Yeah.
So the third and final time was with Jeremy. And we had a drummer, we had all this and that. And we'd really changed. Like we went from like a Portishead experimental thing into like a Swan's Godspeed You Black Emperor feel.
Yeah. At first it was like a very dreary, like gothic.
A seance.
Yeah.
Well, it was the namesake for sure. For sure.
But I mean, just talking about a testament to Jeremy, because he had never done anything like us before, ever. So he was kind of like, yeah, let's give this a try. But you're in that brick basement he had down in Philly, and we're just like, hey, we're gonna hopefully make this sound good, and he did a really great job with it. And it's just the experiences were all different.
Yeah.
You were kind of like, I just want to get down what you want me to do.
Yeah, I kind of went the Rick Rubin approach. Was like, well, you guys are a band, you rehearse, you know your songs. I want to capture what you do,
right? We
without affecting,
or
offering any input to how to change it. I'm not going to produce you. I'm just going to try to capture what you do.
Yeah,
and then it changed, and maybe Jeff did something similar.
Yeah, it's pretty similar. Yeah,
yeah, but yeah, you had some personnel changes and things went through.
Yeah.
And, that's the other thing, too, is maybe some people don't realize that songs do a metamorphosis over time.
Oh, yeah.
The more they get played, they get refined. Mm-hmm. And sometimes you go in the studio with an idea and you track it. And then afterwards you're like, that's not it. That's not what we wanted. And let's start over. And that's okay. It's like doing a sketch and then realizing you want to redo it. Or when you're a kid and you do a rough draft of a term paper. And you're like, that's cool, but I have some notes. I have some notes about how I can fix this.
Yeah.
And the trick is to not get too offended when it gets changed a lot.
Yeah.
Like it didn't offend me. I don't know the right way to say it. Like when you guys recorded with me and then you're like, yeah, we want to try it again. I was like, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. I want you to get what you wanted, and maybe I don't have it. And then you went to Jeff, and then you went to another. Like you guys were on a mission.
Sure.
You had to find something.
Yeah, because no one was doing what we were doing. We're like, man, we really got to make sure we're capturing this. What are you doing over there, guy?
Sniffing the grass.
Oh.
Joe's looking for something. You got plug in?
Oh.
What do you got? What do you got to do?
It's just my phone. I'm just trying to.
I got outlets here. Yeah. Let's plug you in. Let's get you jacked up,
trying to get
dude. Let's get you all juiced up. Juice him up.
What about John over there, man? John, you haven't said too much. What's your experience with those things?
Yeah.
With recording.
Yeah.
Tell us about.
Did you do anything with Groove Pipe?
I did.
I know you did.
With Ben Sobalski and John Fox.
At
rest in
CMC?
peace.
Two.
Miss
The
you,
old
John.
Immortal. Yeah.
Dude, I still have a picture of John in the back.
Yeah, I miss
I
Johnny.
got a picture of him and this kid.
Yeah, we recorded one album with John, and it was like 2004. Then we did one with Ben. It was right before my daughter was born. It was in 2005.
Wow.
And the last one we did, Ben just finished our album, and then he ended up leaving and moving right after that. And I don't even.
Is that right?
I can't.
Is that when he
remember.
moved to
Yeah,
Kansas City?
I can't. Yeah, because that's where he's at
Kansas
now.
City.
I remember
Dude.
we
You're
got
right.
done because we were like, "Hey, can we finish this up?" And he did our mastering and everything. He did everything on the last album. But I remember him. He's like, "Hey guys, I'm moving."
Yeah. Well, he got a big deal with Tech Nine,
Yeah.
the rapper.
Yeah,
And he's been with him ever since.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
if you're familiar with the hip hop artist Tech Nine,
yeah,
John's talking about Ben, the producer, who was my old roommate.
he's a
and
great dude.
He's a great dude.
Agreed.
And produced the Vox Subterrae album, produced the Isolation Theory album, produced some stuff for me. He was my good friend.
Produced Son of Neckbeard's Tales of Woe and Doom.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Ben did that?
Yep.
No
I didn't
shit.
realize that.
I didn't know that. Yeah, that's
Oh,
great.
he was. I remember they were like, "Oh, we could go here, and I was like, "No, I know it. I know a guy. I know it."
Well, because we had just done the cookie stuff there. So like, Ben's a super cool dude.
100%.
Tall and skinny, white as can be, working with all these hip hop artists. You wouldn't believe the kid looked like a stoner surfer who listened to Slayer.
He looked like Jay from Jay and Silent Bob.
Very
Exactly.
much like Jason
Exactly.
Mewes, working with all these hip hop artists, and he's got all these great stories about like guys bringing like E40 bringing guns into the studio. Like he's got so many fucking weird stories.
Crazy stories.
Like Serge Tankian sending him wave file vocals and shit. Like he's got such cool stories. When he moved into my house, he took a room in my house and he painted it all blue. Like the walls were blue, the door was blue. It was like who had their blue period, Picasso or I don't know, whatever. Like
yeah.
was it Picasso?
I think so, yeah.
Who had their blue phase?
Or was it? Who's the guy that cut off his ear?
Van Gogh.
Van Gogh.
Van Gogh. I think
Maybe, whatever.
one of them.
I'm not an artist guy, but like he painted the walls and the door solid blue, so he called it the Blue Room, and that's where we recorded a lot of stuff back in the day.
Speaking
The
of,
Cookies record was recorded in the Blue Room,
I found Me Shaking a Bag album.
and Me Shaking a Bag, which was
Oh,
brilliant.
classic. When's that coming on Spotify?
I have no control over that. That's up to Ben and Colin. Colin, his buddy Colin, they did that. They were in Crack and Super Crack, and they also did Me Shaking a Bag, which was 50 tracks of them shaking
Random things
objects in a bag.
Ben, if you're listening, release that now.
Please put that on Spotify, Ben, if you can ever hear this.
Here's the thing. Okay, so like,
Me Shaking a Bag. What a great fucking idea.
So good.
so like, if you want to know almost everything retardedly about drums, like I'm probably like your dude. Ben is like, I should probably say retardedly. I'm sorry.
Don't say it again.
Whatever.
I'm just
Well, you just got canceled, bro.
It's great.
Josh.
It's all
Thanks.
right.
It's
We're good.
joshing.
Anyways, Ben is like a weird techie nerd, like not Star Trek, but like
Like technical abilities.
I'll put it this way. When it came time, like when I brought to him, like, hey, Son of Neckbeard wants to record our album Tales of Woe and Doom here and everything. He goes, all right, cool, awesome. He's like, how he's like, what are you thinking about like your drum? Like what do you want your drums to sound like? You know, and at that
boom thap, boom boom thap, boom thap, boom boom thap.
And at that time, I was very much like listening to High and Fire at that time, and I was like, oh man, I want it to sound like the drums on how the drums sound on the Blessed Black Wings album. He goes, oh, that's Steve Albini. He already knew he's like, oh, that's Steve Albini, the producer. Oh, hold on. And went, whoop, started going into his computer, was like, boop, 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 boop.
He knew exactly how to draw the EQ curve to a Steve Albini
yeah.
drum. Ben was very much like that. And probably still is.
He knew right away. And the drums sound great on that album.
Yeah.
I was like, oh,
no, you're right. Like, he geeked out about the way a producer would make
and he
stuff.
was like, oh, I need these mics and everything. Like, he knew what mics. He knew like the whole kit and caboodle.
Totally can understand that.
And
absolutely.
That is one thing that I really do admire and miss about having been around, like, or just any time in the recording studio, like talking to an engineer and stuff. I'm just like,
yeah. Well, we used to play. I mean, you would go into a studio, and if you were just meeting a producer for the first time or an engineer, they don't know you. They don't know your songs till they hear them, and they'd go, "Do you have any demos? Can I hear what your band's like?" Or
no, that's what we're doing here.
Or more, more importantly, they would go, "Do you have any reference material? Do you have any records you could play me?" Like when Mainline went into Immortal with Cal Moore, we took him like Pantera records, and we were like, "We want this to sound like Terry Date made it. Can you do that?" And we played him. Yeah, that's a tall order. And he would listen to it. He was like, "Okay, I can try." And at least we had frequencies. And the guitar kind of sounds like this, and the drums sit here, and you hear how things were panned and stuff. Like, we took him like Alice in Chains' Dirt. We're like, Dave Jordan knows how to mix a fucking record. Can we do a record like that? Everybody's got their own EQ spin on it. Their own stamp. Yeah, Ben definitely had that for sure.
There's my stamp.
Ryan's got a stamp. He's dropping heat on my stool. Wait. He's dropping his stool on my stool.
Hey.
Hey.
Is that like the Canton transfer?
wow.
I don't have a... There's no hi-hat there. That's... Hey. Okay.
Ryan just shit himself.
Hey, buddy, you pooped yourself.
Hey, buddy.
Oh man. Are we diving back into those kind of stories now?
We could. We can go back to that story.
So why is it always like the really bizarre stories happen when my dad was there? Because he was there. Because
your dad's a fucking dude.
Tom's been at all the great
Your dad's
ones.
been a trooper. Like, I don't think there's not very many shows he hasn't missed.
right.
Like.
Wait,
Good
has
old
missed.
TB.
There's some good, dude. There's some good Tom. There's some good Tom moments. The poop yourself moment. That's a good one.
So okay.
Ryan's dad has...
Most of these crazy stories come out of T County. Now I'm starting to wonder about T County.
there's a lot of T County
I'm
crazy
gonna start doing
stories.
a T County conspirty. I think there's like a weird like the Bermuda Triangle. There's a T County Triangle.
You see a podcast spinoff to the T County True Stories. True story.
One time someone stole my tooth, and then I looked down, and there it was.
Making it till...
No. that was my wife.
But no, that was down at Broadway Brew House.
It was at the
and
brew
it was
house.
the end of the night.
Oh, yeah.
It was late night, and there was this guy, like I think he's like wearing sweatpants or something, sitting on the park bench out front.
Okay,
there was
wait.
there was a bench out front. And that guy was out. He was passed out.
He
drunk.
was part of the wedding. There was a wedding party that came in.
No.
He was. Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah. There was
Wait, is that the same one where the guy came in? We were playing 99 Red Balloons. He's like, "I'm from Germany. I cannot believe that somebody's playing a song from my country."
No, that was another night. But and it wasn't the night. And it wasn't the night. Jesus Christ, we could do a whole episode about the Broadway Brew House. To be honest with you,
We could. Episode 3 will be called Broadway Brew House.
Yeah, you know what? Actually,
All right, we'll go there later.
okay.
But yeah. For now,
poop my pants or whatever.
The Broadway shit house.
He was part of. Yeah, there was a whole bridal. I don't know.
that
party.
makes sense. Actually, now that you say
there was
that,
a bride
that
and
makes
groom.
sense. That
Yeah, there
makes
was a whole
sense.
bunch of them came
Yeah.
like rolling in, and they were all like,
There's
whoa.
one.
No, that wasn't that night. Oh my God.
That's another story. Don't
Broadway
don't go
Brew
there.
House. There's gonna be like 12 episodes of the Broadway Brew House.
We have stories.
Jesus.
Either way,
And
Anyways,
this is one.
so he was
99
part of the. He was
stories.
part of that
so good.
what do you call that? Is that it's not a bridal
A
group?
procession? No, it's a
Bridal party.
it's a party.
Yeah, it's a bridal party.
Is it a bridal party?
Yeah, it's a bridal party.
Oh,
I feel like bridal is just like the women.
Party.
It's
What's everybody?
Bridal party.
It's a groom's party.
It's a
A
bridal
groomsman.
party.
Is he
The wedding party.
Okay, so there was a wedding that
Anyways.
happened, and everyone went to the reception,
me
and then after the
time.
reception, the bride and groom and the
after
rest of
party.
the people were like, "Let's go over to Broadway Brew House because we ain't done enough drinking enough alcohol."
Right.
Let me love.
Do you really?
Do you
wanna
really
hurt?
want to hurt me?
Yeah.
Do you really want to
Eat
make
that
me-
pie.
Oh.
Anyways, so the
Play it
night,
again.
so everyone had a good night. Some people had a little too much of a good night, and that guy was one of them. And
It happens.
And it was the end of the night. Bars closing. I think, totally.
It's like 2 a.m.
Lights on,
Yeah.
like
We
pay
used to
your
do those
tab,
late
get the
shows,
F
yeah.
out, yeah. And so we're loading stuff to the car at that time for sure. I do remember that. And some dude, him and his, I don't know, some other, there are 2 guys, and that guy came and was like, oh, fell on the chair and was out. And the other guy was talking to like some girls or something like that. And they're like,
Oh, he walked by.
and they're like, you should come back to our place or whatever. And he's like, yeah, that's really cool. Because remember, this is what like, oh, and he looked over. He's like, oh man, my brother's dead because that dude was like passed,
same night.
passed
It's the same
out.
night.
Yeah, that's all the same night.
Yeah, we're outside loading shit, and there's a guy straight dead
Out,
on
like,
the bench.
out. He had
He's
splits.
out. Like we know what that looks like.
Yeah.
It's like the kid at Hamilton's that wore the fucking trash can on his head the one night.
Yeah.
What was that? Kenny, the one that climbed to the back of my fucking
Yeah, yeah,
PT
we're like,
Cruiser.
"Oh,
We're
no,
like,
Kenny,
Kenny, you
no."
can't sleep here, dude. What the
yeah.
fuck? Yeah. So this guy was out on a bench, and the guy comes out of the thing and out of the bar, and he looks over and goes, "Oh man, my brother's dead."
But he
And
still
we're-
continued to talk to them girls or whatever.
And the guy was on a mission. He's
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
going
he's-
somewhere.
yeah,
he had
yeah.
something going on.
And
Fuck his brother. He's got something going on.
His brother was passed out or whatever. And I remember you and I were like hauling stuff to the car and stopped or whatever and was like looking at the situation, laughing at it, whatever.
Right.
And then somewhere along the line, I think we heard that dude like
Oh yeah,
yeah.
that's
Oh,
right.
yeah.
Oh, he
start
was totally
bubbling.
farting in his
Oh,
sleep.
yeah.
Yeah,
bubbling and gooing, and like you could see through his sweat. You could see it.
And gooing all of it.
You could see in his sweatpants like the dark.
Oh, just slowly creeping to the ground. Slowly creeping to the ground.
And, like,
Oh, yeah.
filling up in the back of his shoe. Yeah, and
His shoes were filled.
they were like, "Oh man, that dude's straight shitting himself." We're like, "Oh," and you and I ended up going back inside to get more stuff. And then in that time, your dad came out, and your
Yeah.
dad was walking with like
He had a cane.
My dad's disabled, so he has to have a cane. Yeah.
So your dad was like burp, 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 coming out with a cane and stopped and saw that guy. And when you and I don't know what the hell we were hauling, but you and I were hauling something out that door and heading to our cars. And when we stopped and saw your dad was in front of that dude with his cane,
He started poking him.
Yeah, patting him. Where it was like, "Hey, buddy, wake up! You're pooping yourself." And you're like, "Pop, what are you doing?" He's like, "This guy's pooping himself," and then went back to poking that dude in the gut. He was poking him in the gut with that cane, and as he was doing it, all you heard was like,
He's like making it come out more.
he was like pressing like the Play-Doh button or something. And you're like, "Pop, stop it! That dude's passed out." And he was like, "Well, he's pooping himself." Like your dad was so concerned about that dude shitting himself.
He had the best intentions.
Oh man,
The best.
Best intentions.
So you end up getting like your dad out of there, and
No.
Or-
No, I'm still there with you.
this is where I'm foggy at. Is where he was poking him with that cane. I don't remember.
Hey, buddy, you shit yourself.
Yeah, you're poking yourself.
I think I got him in the van, and like a taxi rolls up. Then remember?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And then the taxi rolls up. The girls get in the taxi with that dude, and that dude goes over to get his brother that pooped himself and all that's passed out. And mind you, listeners, at this time, only us, Imaginary Cookies, knew what was going on with that guy passed out pooping himself.
We watched the story unfold.
Yeah, his brother spitting game to the girls. He was oblivious to what was going on with that. So he goes over and it's like, "Hey, bro, come on, wake up, let's time to go. And his bro was like, oh, all right. And like they all hobble and boom, get in that fucking taxi.
Yeah, that guy came out of a coma. It
Yeah.
was like, all right, let's roll.
Yeah, hobbled and got in the front seat, I do believe, and they went and drove away. And I was like, how long do you think it's going to take till they realize that guy shit himself?
But the worst part is like that bench, and I don't
that
even
stain.
Well, like it was like the shadow people from Hiroshima, like when the bomb went off. It was like a poop silhouette, like on this bench, like where you can tell where his legs were and like and where his butt was on the bench.
Poop silhouette.
Poop silhouette. It was, and like it was like
He cast a brown shadow.
Oh, he did. There was definitely like 12 more weeks of winter after that.
I have exorcised the
Yes.
demons.
Wait, what was this called? 99 Stories? And this is one?
This
Yeah,
is one.
episode 2, The Brown Shadow.
But like, oh yeah, like his shoes, like where they were, like was poop shoes,
Filled.
poop,
The
like
brown
poop,
Oh, man.
poop butt,
shadow.
and there was like a trail that went to like to the taxi.
That was terrible.
Oh man,
Funny and terrible.
That was the thing. Now, that wasn't the same show where you almost got abducted, right?
No, that was the Buffalo Girl night.
What, you got abducted
Oh,
We played that same club.
Yeah.
by aliens?
oh that's
No,
the same show that they
that's
try to abduct you, and I got on the stage.
Yeah,
I
that's the
hightailed
Buffalo.
it.
That's the Buffalo Girl night.
Oh, and that's the ones where like, so that
Oh, go ahead.
stage at the brew house, it was on the floor. There was no stage.
There was a
There-
drum riser.
There
yeah.
was a drum
I remember.
riser for
Yeah.
the drummer,
Yeah.
but otherwise you're on the floor. And
John, a herd came in.
some very large
And
women came in.
I can't be any more politer than
There's
calling
no way to
a
say
herd.
it in these day and age, but
You've been at the Broadway Brew House. The Broadway
yeah.
Brew House is
I've
an
played there.
old Victorian style place, whatever. It's wood floors.
it's old school.
Yeah, old
It's all
school.
wood. Yeah.
And these
Look.
ladies came in, and when they started dancing, the floor
The
shook.
floor was bending.
The floor was shaking, and it was on.
And it's not like we're being
concrete.
mean when
Flexing.
we say this, but they were
No,
they were
I
big
know,
girls. They
we're
were
in modern.
very,
Yeah.
But literally, the floor, like factually,
Stuff was happening.
The floor was like
It was
flexing.
moving. Yeah, like
if you were standing there, you could like literally feel yourself like almost like being on a trampoline without jumping. Like kids are jumping on it, but you're just like, whoa, what the hell?
Stuff was happening.
Yeah, it was like, whoa, I don't think this is. How much weight can this?
And
thing
they
be?
walked right up to me because I'm in the front singing, and they walked up like, "You're cute." I'm like, "I'm married," and they're like, "We don't care." I'm like, "I care."
The one was
I
trying to
care
like
so
while he was
much.
like trying to sing and play.
caressing
They're
him.
like caressing his hair.
I'm like,
"You're
I care so much.
beautiful.
Please leave me alone.
You're
Please go away."
majestic.
Yeah.
I want to take you home and
And
eat
so
you.
I look.
There'll be nothing left
I
but
look to my
bones.
band for support. Like, where's my
That's
brothers
your
at?
fault.
And Ryan's gone. Ryan used to play side by side by me
Look,
up front.
'cause when
and
this
I
was-
look back, this motherfucker's on the drum riser. He climbed up on the drum riser. He's hiding behind the cymbals. He's like, "Fuck you, dude. You're on your own."
I
I'm like,
found a
"You
4x4
sons of
section.
bitches.
Look,
You
because I
sons
was
of
up there
bitches.
on that
I'm
drum
on my
riser,
own.
and I saw. Oh man, I saw that
Oh, man,
going
my
on
brother's
with,
dead.
I saw that going on with
He
Scott.
was by. Sorry,
I saw that
buddy.
going on with Scott, but all of a sudden I felt like this weird like presence like over to like behind my right, and I was like, "What the fuck?" And I look over, and it's Baker. And I'm like,
He's just
I remember looking at you, and I was like, "What are you doing?" And
When
you're-
the
and
drum
you're like,
riser's so small, his drums
just-
barely fit on it because
you
he
just-
has so many drums.
You
Oh,
tucked
yeah.
you were like, mm-mm. And I was like, and I was like, I was sitting there playing. And I was like, what? And you were like, look down there. What's going on? And I was like, looked. And at that time,
And at that time, they both said, "Fuck Scott," is what they said. They said,
one of
"Dude,
the
I'll
chicks
never
was
forget.
bent over and like doing like the booty,
whatever.
you know, like the booty walk thing, like get it right,
She
right?
was twerking it.
And all of a sudden we saw this like she was wearing I don't know, a thong, if you want to call it
I
that.
don't know, an umbrella.
But like you saw this whale of a tail.
Ella,
This whale and the other bigger one was like, yeah, and like grabbed her by the thong and was like whoop, and like lifted it lifted up the foot. And then they started getting in between him and booty bouncing him.
No.
Back and forth, like bop, 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 bop. And that's when he turned around and was like, help me. And we're like, nope.
I
We were like-
remember his face because
And never did I realize I don't have friends until that night. I was like,
Oh, no.
I am alone in this world.
No, we'll-
I'm locked
carry
in behind the
you to
kid. I
done
could I
for.
could try to wing
Fucking
sticks, but
done
they would just
for.
ate them.
But like I remember I was up there and he was like he went to look for me and I wasn't
I
there.
did. I looked for you for backup. Like,
you were
please
like,
help me.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
being eaten alive by these fucking granimals
and
over here.
he turns around and
He went to higher ground.
he looked me right in the eyes. He's like I fucking hate you. And I was like, hey, sorry, I'm not dying today.
Yeah. So
Oh, and the break. We took a
so
break.
so this same night, we decided to take a break and go outside and have a cigarette. And we go out back by the cooler, and all of a sudden they come out, this gang of ladies, and they look at Joe. Instantly, they throw the door open. Whoosh.
Now,
And the lead one goes.
now, mind you, I'm talking to two people. Then they're like
He's
a-
mid conversation.
yeah.
People are chatting with us. Hey, nice show. This and that, whatever. They throw open the door. Wham! And the head one goes. There's one.
dead serious. Like
And you
saw
were-
me pointing and goes, "There's one."
and
I
you
was
were
like,
stretching.
Yeah, like I'm like talking
Joe's
to you like
got
how
his
I am
arms
facing.
in the air because he's
And
like
I'm
it's
holding
2 in the
on.
morning. We're tired. He's going. Oh, have a
that-
stretch.
there's that weird
She
shed. I'm
fucking
holding on that
bear
shed.
hugs him and like does a cross-faced chicken wing.
She speared me like that fucking wrestler. What's that guy's
Goldberg.
name? Goldberg. She Goldberg
Yeah.
speared me. It was like boom and locked her arms around me. And there was some way that she was holding me to where I couldn't get my left.
and she was stealing
arm-
him towards the
arm
car. She
down.
was going to take him. He was gone.
She
He-
picked
like
me-
we knew we didn't have a drummer anymore.
Yeah, she like the way she was holding me. I couldn't
He
get.
was
I,
dead. Not
I
have each
couldn't
other's
get my
backs
left
at all.
I couldn't get my left arm down, and my right arm was holding underneath like my armpit of my left arm
Did
like
you
this.
elbow her
and
in the head?
Yeah, I couldn't. I couldn't get it. Like she had me locked. Like couldn't. And all I could do was hold on to that was like a shed or whatever, the top of that.
It was like the cooler, like there was a walk-in cooler
just
back
kind of like
there.
this. I was just holding on to it like this, and she was tugging with all of her might, like trying to like take me out, gone. And
They
I
had a
remember-
car, they were gonna
and the
steal
two-
him.
Two people I were talking to, this couple were laughing. They're like, ha ha ha. And I was like, help me. And they're like, ha. I'm like, no, seriously, help me.
This is
Like-
not a drill.
Like this, like, help me. This is real. And, and at that,
is real.
Yeah. And at that time, I looked down and I saw her. She like reeled her head back and she like showed her
Oh,
teeth.
she was gonna bite you.
Yeah. It looked like she was like, like gonna go in for like to bite me. And at that very
She almost
time,
bit you.
yeah, at that time when she reeled back was enough time that I could get my left arm down, like bring my elbow to like my my side down, and that was enough that like it hit her too, like foop, and it knocked her on the ground, and I took my right foot and stepped on her to step on her and over her, and I told that couple, I was like, hey, you guys have a nice night, and I ran back inside and shut the door and sprinted to you guys like, don't go outside, it's not safe out there.
Well, didn't you go run into your car for a few? I mean, we had to like play like 2 or 3 songs without you.
No,
That-
no. That might
Oh,
have been-
okay.
No.
That's a different night
That
then.
might have been a different night. But yeah, she was like, I don't know, like linebacker just came and sacked the quarterback and tried to take off. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
She was like
Goldberg. Yeah, you got
Mary Jo,
Goldberg.
Ohio State defensive back.
There's one.
Yeah, there, yeah. Boom, like, there's one. I'm like,
There's one. What?
yeah. Nope. See ya.
Man.
Yeah, and like I said,
Victim.
and I'm sure in the right circumstances they were probably very nice ladies. But
Oh,
they,
I'm sure
they,
they're great.
They were drunk and just just bigger than us. and-
They were
which
drunk.
is
They were
fine,
from
you
T
know.
County, and they were looking to get
Something.
Something.
Thinner,
Something.
Snicker.
Yeah.
like literally going like, you married? Nope. Are you married? You married?
I don't care.
Yeah,
You're like, I
then-
care.
then
I
it
care
became
so
the, like,
much.
I
Please
don't
go
care.
away.
Like,
Get the
whoa.
fuck out of here.
She was like, I'm going to fuck you till you die.
Please kill me soon.
Death by Stoom Stoom, whatever it's called from.
It really is T County, dude. Because like, dude,
They kind of do that.
That's crazy.
do you remember that chick we ran into after the Swiss Fest
Oh, yeah.
at the fucking country,
Oh,
the
yeah.
country kicking fucking?
I was
something
there.
like-
I was there. I was like, Emilio.
Yeah, that's when I learned there was a bar in Canton I never knew about.
What was
Dude,
that?
A
was
body
serious.
shop.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, off of 44th.
Where was? I didn't
44th.
go.
Oh, you know that one, do you?
I ran by it.
I didn't go to that. What was that?
That's
Where was I?
That's a swingers club. Behind the sex store.
I don't know any of those words. What are you talking about?
Okay.
44th in Cleveland.
Yeah.
All
Across
right,
from
I
the
know
cemetery.
that. That's
Or like
over
the
by Dickerson's
Fishers-
old
Yes.
dog grooming shop. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So it's a video shop.
Yeah.
There's that
that
adult.
one?
There's an adult store.
I'm very aware.
Okay.
I know.
Well, then there looks
like
like
Has Fist.
I've heard.
then there looks
I've
like
heard.
there's like some other like it looks like it's kind of like in a part of a plaza.
Yeah,
but-
there's like a resell
Used
Yeah,
to be
but
the
it-
restore.
Yeah.
restore. That's
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Yeah.
Well, back there where like the garage things are or whatever. That is a swingers bar.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Huh?
Really? Okay. Why? What?
Because that's the thing.
And so why
there's a
did?
need
Okay,
for
so
it.
wait a minute. I know we're running along on
Dude,
time.
there-
Here. Why were you there?
No, we weren't. We weren't.
Oh,
No.
Officially, you were not.
John and
It's on
I.
tape.
John,
John
why,
and I.
John, why the fuck?
John
Hold
and
on,
I-
I have
Wait,
to know.
John, why
Hold
are you
on.
there
All
with
right,
Joe?
we're
Hold
going
on,
over
listen.
time, but
John and
what
I
did
got-
you do, John?
Swiss Fest got done, right?
Swiss
remember
Fest.
the remember
I
the,
remember the Swiss Fest with
Yeah,
all
and
the
the donut-
polka and the fried cheese.
And the
I
cheese.
the
The donut-
donut fried cheese. I love
the
the fried
donut
cheese.
the donut tent caught on fire.
Oh, donut tent. Yeah.
Yeah, the donut tent caught on fire. Remember that and then it got put out or whatever. Well, Miss Swiss or whatever the fuck her name was.
We grabbed some cheese curds and then we met her.
But those are great.
At the
I
lunch
love
shop.
that.
No,
Yeah.
but then we met her.
Yeah, and she
The one that hired us?
Yeah.
The little one.
Oh, yeah.
She was short. The
Oh, yeah.
Shorty,
Yeah.
She
Little-
hired us, yeah.
Right. She
She
was
said,
like-
hey, come to an after party?
She was like, "Hey, yeah." Somehow, yeah, we end up going to the up north to the kicking country,
Yeah.
some country bar,
Like boot scooting?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Exactly.
That's why I didn't go.
It was a line dance bar.
Yeah, it was at the end of the night. Where,
Count me out.
If you remember correctly, like ours, did we do 2 Swiss Fest or we only did 1?
I feel like
We know we did
There was,
We did
there was
two.
one
We
year
did two.
I could do it, one year I couldn't do it.
No, we did it 2 years.
2 years, but both years were like,
We had you for both. We
Man.
never had a surrogate for that.
1 year.
I think they were expecting
Did
like.
we ever have a fill-in for Ryan?
No.
Yeah. If I couldn't
No,
do
we
it,
did
Tim
2
Beckett would
years.
do it.
No, the 1 year.
Well, he once at
Dolly
30th,
did or
30th
something,
Street,
or
but
no.
Wasn't the 1 year we went down there, we had to wait because it was raining and we had to wait to set up because of the other band.
speak into the mic. They can't hear you.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
can't hear you if
We
you
need
don't
to
talk
get-
in the mic. Yeah.
I'm
This is
here.
for people.
I'm there.
People are listening.
Yeah, we
need a mic
waited.
stand for you.
No, we did do 2 years.
Okay.
But the 1 year we had to wait because the pre-band, the polka
I remember
band,
Tim was
Yeah.
there, but
and
I
it
don't
was
remember him
raining,
playing.
and then
That's right.
I
One
remember I
year,
was
one
down
year
in
was
Georgia-
like
down in
mediocre.
Georgia.
I know
do
that.
it.
I just remember that, and I think it might have been that year. So, anyways,
we did too.
what I'm saying was you weren't thrilled. I think it was one of those times where you're like, "This sucked. This wasn't great. I'm out." Like you weren't down to like
That
kick
makes
it, stay.
sense.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
makes sense.
yeah. And so somewhere along the line, she was like, "I'm going to this bar. You guys should come. It's gonna be
You
fun."
guys are like, woohoo, let's
and we're
go.
like, "Well,
Okay.
this was disastrous. So like, why not end the night with like, let's see where this will fucking lead us."
Sure,
right?
sure. I don't blame you.
They fucking let the roll the dice of the fuck it.
when in Rome,
Sure,
when
sure,
Rome.
sure.
So we end up at this like country yeehaw.
kicking country.
Is it kicking country?
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
Is that what's,
Yeah,
okay.
exactly.
I didn't know that's. I've never known that's
She's
what that's actually
gone
called.
country.
Well, it's like it's made for like the line dancing. Like they got like the big old floor. It looks like a
Is that
skating.
why
rink.
that-
It looks like a
okay.
skating rink.
Yeah,
but it's
yeah.
Boot
not.
scooting boogie.
I thought
Exactly.
I thought at some time they cleared out
Yeehaw.
the floor and brought in like a mechanical bull, and that's where
Oh,
like
Jesus.
that's why
Well,
it
they
was
did
like,
that too, and then they also had Pauly Shore there one time.
What?
And then he did the
Wait, for real?
I'm sorry.
yeah one time.
Buddy. They
Yeah.
did. They, for
Yeah,
real,
'cause
they
he
had
did, like-
wheezing
No
the
squeezing the juice.
squeezing the juice.
Grab a nug, whose cones are
Buddy,
busty,
grab a
weezer
nug
gigging.
and Squeeze the juice.
Don't
Okay,
bother
okay.
me.
Well, he had the line dance song, remember? He's like, grab a nug whose cones are busty, weezer gigging, make her crusty. If you're remember?
From son-in-law, right?
Yeah, he's like, if your gal is finger licking, come on now and do the funky chicken.
You're opening for the Dandelion
Yeah.
Fest this year. That's
Yeah.
right.
Remember
Ladies
that?
and gentlemen,
You remember
John
that?
Risher.
I remember it in the movie. Okay.
One time, anyway. But we
So,
were there.
We were there. We were there trying to figure out at that time what the fuck are we doing here? If I remember correctly, like like this is not. Why am I here? This is not our people.
Well,
this is not my
how did
crowd.
I get here?
Right. Like,
And the
happening.
days go by.
hi, what are you doing here for? But
What you reading for?
we ended up like, I think she came to us, maybe.
She did.
Yeah. So some rando came up to us or whatever and was talking, and we ended up having like a pretty decent conversation between the three of us, or whatever. And
Okay.
there was something I remember she had like a ring on or something
Yep.
like that. So like, okay, like this chick's married or whatever. Like, no
That's
big,
cool. That's
Whatever.
cool. That's
Yeah,
cool.
whatever.
Cool.
No big
Yeah,
deal.
that's cool.
Whatever.
Yeah, but at the time we were both single.
Yes, correct.
Of course.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
posterity.
Yeah, we
Yes,
were for
yes.
sure.
So you're thinking
100%.
Eiffel Tower.
High five,
You never
guys.
know.
And he
High
poured a
five,
storm,
guys.
you know.
Yeah. And he poured a storm.
But
That's
we were
the-
both
that's
like,
the
hey,
episode,
you know.
yeah.
But yeah,
Too, and then
whatever.
he poured, and
And,
that's
and so
fine.
I remember there was something about Harley Davidsons,
Oh, Jesus.
right? She liked bikes or something like that.
Roadhouse.
Something. Anyways, I think it was along the line of like, what what we like what do you do and like where do you live and what do you do?
Who
or
is your
something like that.
daddy
Like,
and what do you do?
the age, sex, and location
Boys
type of thing
have
or some shit or
appeals.
whatever. Yeah, the type of thing or whatever. And we're like, yeah, we're from Canton, blah blah blah. And she's like, oh, me and my boyfriend go up to this bar. We go up to Canton all the time. We go to this bar called the Body Shop. And instantly, John and I shoot it like a look at it. We're like, the Body Shop, because like what bar have we not played at in Canton? You know what I mean? Between like
You're like, how have we not heard of this?
yeah, how have we not
right.
heard about this? We're like, what is this? And I think it took her a while to tell us, right? I don't think she was like right off the rip about it or some shit. But then it finally,
Oh no, she kept like she was being like she was real subtle about it. Like
Yeah.
she kept trying to like put little hints in there.
So, like, if this is your first night at Fight Club, you
she's
don't
like,
talk about Fight Club.
"Well, do you remember? Do you know? Yeah.
Do
she
you
was-
remember?
yeah. I
when
remember
we
there was like,
fell
I remember
in
there's some,
love
I remember
on
there's some
September?
BS. There was some BS going on or whatever. And then somewhere along the night, I remember she was like, took off the ring and was like, oh, this isn't real. I just wear this to like keep creepers away or whatever. Some
That
shit.
sounds weird.
Yeah, right. I was like, wow, the only time I've ever seen this is in Put in Bay, and that's a swingers bar. Like,
It's weird. Okay, all right.
so she, if I fuck this up, like this is how I remember
I'm
it.
trying to remember too, but yeah,
I remember bits and pieces. So this is like, because, but I remember there's a part where she was telling us that it was a swingers bar,
Okay.
and I remember she said that like, if she saw us there, if she ran into one of us there, like we
It'd
should
be a different story.
One, we like, oh, you should. One, it was like, hey, you should come here. You'll really like it. And then two, if I end up running into you, I'll take you in the back room.
yeah. No, she did.
Yeah,
She did.
I'll take you. Are your kids here? Is there family here?
yeah, they
I'm
should be
okay,
stupid.
There's their family in the
You
house.
realize we're recording this.
Right, but I'm not trying to be loud enough to like. They can hear
I
this
don't.
later, but I don't
they
want
might
them to
hear
wake up.
this on Spotify, but yeah.
I don't
okay.
want to. Okay,
Okay.
I'm just trying to be polite.
Sure.
So,
yeah, go for it. I haven't heard this story.
quote,
I don't know this one.
She said, she's like, if
I
I,
missed
run
the
into
good
you,
story.
This was a me and
Yeah.
Joe adventure.
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
I
this
go
is one
home, I
of.
don't know
There's a
this
few.
stuff. Yeah,
There's
yeah.
a very few John and I adventures, but like this was a golden one. She was like,
A golden one?
Yeah, she's
Yeah,
like, if I
not a
run
golden
in,
shower.
if you go there and I run into you, I'll take you in the back room. I'll. What do you say? I'll put a device on my boyfriend so he can't come. I'll fuck you and then make him eat make him eat your cum out of my pussy. And his John eyes was exactly. It was like, like what? Like,
What are the words you just said?
do you have the address to this bar? Where's this at? Like,
Yeah.
When will you be there?
Cleveland Avenue. What? 1, 2. What? Like, the body. 2 B's. 1. But do you remember she showed us a video of her diddling herself, and then she told us she was a squirter.
yes.
And we're like, yeah, right. And I think you were like, yeah, right, prove it or some shit. And she was like, boom, slap this fucking video down. And it was like where it was on the floor, so she's standing, spread eagle over it. And she was diddling like, bop, 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 bop. And all of a sudden it was just like, goosh. And I was like, holy shit. And I was like, where was this bar again? You said?
When she was like, then she was like, have you ever heard of Scotty's? And I was like, Scotty's.
On
And
words?
then yeah,
Yeah.
and,
I used to play that place.
Yeah, and that was another one.
They're gone.
Quiet, so quiet.
Who's gone?
Body Shop.
Oh.
Sorry,
Oh,
we're
it's
closed.
no more.
No
Okay.
more.
Ryan
no
just
mas.
looked that place
I've heard
up
some
and
crazy stories, but I've
But
heard like,
Scotty's was another one.
Yeah.
because she invited us there too. She invited us to go to Scotty's.
yeah.
But that was a simple little bar.
Yeah, it was. But they were a swingers bar.
And there was
They were-
something
Really?
about,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And there-
God damn, I'm so naive.
you know-
I used
you
to
know
play
that.
that place.
I was gonna say we used to play that place. Then I was
Yeah.
like, you know what? I was started to
It
think.
was like a hidden. Remember?
Really?
It's
God damn.
dude.
It was
The
kind of like
boathouse.
under the wraps.
I'm so
under
naive.
wraps.
I didn't
Yeah.
know.
The
I didn't know.
The boathouse in Put-in Bay.
What about it?
Uh-huh.
Get the fuck out.
No,
of here.
I don't know.
I
about
played
that.
that place for years.
For
Get the
years.
fuck- get
yeah.
the fuck out of here.
No.
I never knew.
Here's
Really? Seriously? I
There's
never-
some
we're like-
events that was there. Look at that.
What is this?
That's one of the
So
events
that
at
was the
shop.
Islander
Holy
spot.
shit.
It's where it's
Ryan
where
just-
it's
Ryan just
it's
handed me
where it
his
starts
phone.
for
No,
evening.
because it's on my phone
evening-
because I searched it.
evening
I cleared that out.
encounters.
With some,
Which makes sense
some,
because Scott and I, when we
there's
first
two
started,
conversations.
holy shit!
going.
Look at that. Oh, okay. Wow. Really? This was a thing. 2022.
and
that
you
was
you
last
mostly
year?
had to be like a married
Jesus
couple
Christ,
Yeah.
look at
to
that.
like belong there. They would allow like if you're a married couple and applied to like, hey, come on in, get your bang on. But if you were single or whatever, you really had to go through like a whole resume and
It was like a secret alliance group.
Yeah.
It was like
you had to have like 100.
It was
Like
like
if you were
private
if you were a single
invitation.
male trying to apply to that club, you
Right.
had to have like over 150 fucking like references of like really good references or whatever to like be able to. Yeah, it was like
we'd be able to go in there.
you
and
had to
swing.
prove your honor that you're not here just to be swinging your wiener.
Oh, dude, there's a flyer on this website that says Naughty Gras.
You said a flyer.
Hey,
There's a flyer for Naughty Gras.
true
Look
story.
at
I
that.
think it
That's
was.
pretty-
I think
that's
it was
pretty great.
I think it was another swingers
Look
club.
at that. That's
And I want to say it
I
was.
don't know, it's not-
I do know it was another swingers club that came to the body shop, and I want to say they were from like Pittsburgh or something like that. But it was definitely an out of state place that came because that's another thing with these swinger club places. They actually go
they're
to other
interstate. Yeah.
Yeah, like hey, we're gonna make a road trip. We're all gonna get on like this party bus, and we're gonna party on this party bus while we go over to this other swingers party, and then we're gonna go over there.
That must be
and,
cool. I don't know. Is that cool? I don't know. Is that cool? Who knows?
It's kind of like I feel the same approach as that is like the nude beach. Remember when we were younger, like, oh man, we'll go to a nude beach, gotta see some titties, and then like you actually go to a nude beach and you're like, oh my god, it's nothing but like 80-year-old men in their fucking nut sacks. Oh, I'm out of here, like out, like peace. Like so, it's always like, oh, it's a mirage. It's like I think it's gonna be like this, but really when it comes out, you're like, oh, it's a bag of fucking prunes. Like
But
great,
that's life, isn't it? You
Right,
always think it's
100%.
going to be something, then you get there and you're like, I was wrong. Oh
So
man.
like so a lot of people
So,
when they hear like
everybody came
swingers,
here
they think
thinking
like
of
the
one thing. Yeah.
They think like the Playboy grotto and stuff, and it's more like, oh man, that was my neighbor when I was growing up across the street, and his ex-wife. Like, hey, Tom and Melissa. Hi.
Yeah, right.
Like-
Yeah.
yeah,
That makes too much sense.
It's like Ned Flanders, like you know what I mean. Like,
Heidi ho, neighbor.
hey, Oakley Dokley, I'm fingering his butthole right here. All right,
It's
like-
go, neighbor.
yeah, like a
Oh,
weird.
lost
It's
the
like,
ring.
and I've talked to couples that actually belonged to the body shop when it was running or whatever. And
Yeah.
I asked the same thing, like, hey, what is that like? Is like, and they're like, it's kind of like a Eyes Wide Shut, like a diet Eyes Wide Shut. So like, if you want,
Oh, wow.
So like, if you want, so
There's a podcast title: Diet Eyes Wide Shut.
so there's these.
if you like
so there's
Nicole
these-
Kidman,
so there's
you're
a
gonna
main-
love.
There's a main
whatever the fuck this is.
There's a main, main open area, mingle area where the bar is and stuff. There might be a
Okay.
pool table or stuff. Like, hey, here's a little thing for you to like just and other places to sit to talk or whatever. But then there's these other rooms that like if you wanted to go and like, do things with it,
Things
yeah,
and
do
stuff.
things
Yeah,
and stuff,
sure,
right,
sure,
right,
whatever.
That's there. But then it's also open too. So like if your thing is not to like stuff, then not to be part of that, but you want to like watch or whatever, then you can just like go and hang out. And sit there and be like, hey, I'm just gonna sit here and watch, and maybe play with myself while you're doing that. Don't mind me. My name's Larry, by the way.
Hey, don't mind me.
yeah. Hey, my name's Larry. Boy, that's my wife over there on the rack getting handed to her by like.
Yeah,
5
we're all
bongs.
cool with this.
Yeah.
Everything's cool. We all love
Hey,
this.
Cheryl,
Yeah,
I met
yeah.
a new couple. Oh, that's really great.
How do you make your casserole? Hold on.
Yeah.
I gotta handle this real quick.
But
You
yeah,
sound like Bobcat
so if you
Goldthwait.
want to participate, so it's basically set up. It's set up to be like to be whatever it is you want it to be. So if like you want it to be that, then it's there for you to be. But if you want to just casually be like, oh, just feel it around, maybe this isn't for me, maybe it is. Cool.
And that was.
But there's a
John and
story
Joe
there's a
at the barley shop.
Yeah, there's a
in,
story of a
2001.
swingers club
He's
from
like,
Pittsburgh
hey.
that went down there and tore our swingers club out.
You know,
There you know.
You know,
There-
man,
there
I
you go.
like you. You can come over to my house and fuck my sister.
Yeah,
Bullshit.
hey man, I'm just gonna tell
Hey,
you, we're gonna
private joker.
hey, there's a bar in here. We're gonna listen to AM radio and finger buttholes all night. It's gonna be a real nice night.
AM radio.
Dude, we went over that all Christmas.
We got Rick
Fucking-
Springfield on repeat.
You're listening to 99 Stories, and this is one. We're your hosts, Imaginary Cookies. We're going to wrap up episode 2.
Yeah, get us out of here.
And we're going to take you out with all that wonderful goodness. We will catch you on episode 3.
Sorry about your luck.
Tune in later.
Kicking Country Saloon, squirting good times.